And you've got to... And you've got to...
First, you've got to get mad.
And you've got to... And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it! My life has value. My life has value. My life has value. My life has value. My life has value.
And you've got to... That freedom ring.
Every time you buy something or don't, you're casting a vote.
And you've got to... That freedom ring.
My life has value.
And you've got to... And you've got to... That freedom ring. And you've got to...
My life has value.
And you've got to... That freedom ring. That freedom ring. That freedom ring. And you've got to... And you've got to...
My life has value.
And you've got to... And you've got to... And you've got to...
My life has value.
And you've got to...
My life has value. My life has value.
And you've got to...
My life has value. My life has value.
And you've got to... That freedom ring.
Every time you buy something or don't, you're casting a vote. And it's a very important vote. In fact, I would dare say it's equally as important as, and maybe more important than any vote you cast in voting.
And you've got to... That freedom ring. And you've got to...
My life has value.
And you've got to... That freedom ring. That freedom ring. That freedom ring. And you've got to... And you've got to...
My life has value.
And you've got to... And you've got to...
Every time you buy something or don't,
And you've got to...
you're casting a vote.
And you've got to...
Every time you buy something or don't,
And you've got to...
you're casting a vote.
And you've got to... That freedom ring. And you've got to...
You're casting a vote. Use your talent. Let's
And you've got
change
to...
this
That
world.
freedom ring.
Let's create a sustainable, just and peaceful world. Let's not just talk about it. Let's not just look at movies about it. Let's not just theorize about it. Let's do it.
And you've got to... And you've got to... That freedom ring. That freedom ring. That freedom ring. And you've got to... And you've got to...
Every time you buy something or don't,
And you've got to...
you're casting a vote.
And you've got to...
Every time you buy something or don't,
And you've got to...
you're casting a vote.
And you've got to... And you've got to... And you've got to... That freedom ring. And you've got to... And you've got to... That freedom ring.
This empire has been created without most of us realizing that it's been happening. And I think that's extremely dangerous. We claim to be a democracy, and yet a democracy is built on the premise that you have an informed electorate.
That freedom ring. 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 And you've got to... And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers.
You've got to get mad.
That freedom ring. That freedom ring.
Can't
That
possibly
freedom ring. That freedom
hope
ring.
to inherit a sustainable, just and peaceful world unless every child growing up in Botswana and Bolivia and Indonesia and Palestine and Israel has that same expectation. We must realize this. We have to understand that we can't have homeland security here until we recognize that the whole planet is our homeland. We are truly one people. And the good news is that the big corporations are totally dependent on you or your tax dollars. They can't survive without you.
The very word secrecy is repugnant.
And the marketplace is democratic if we only choose to make it such.
So of the various kinds of state capitalism that are around, which are the best? I don't honestly think that's the kind of question we should be asking.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
Suppose you're in the 18th century. Should you be asking which is the best kind of feudalism? Should you be asking which is the best kind of feudalism? Should you be asking
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
should you be asking should you be asking
In other news,
should you be asking
in other news,
should you be asking
That freedom ring in the
in other news,
The very word secrecy is repugnant
should you be asking
in other news, LeBron James is moving to Florida to play for the Miami Heat, and that fact will not affect your life in any way.
That freedom ring in the
The very word secrecy is repugnant. 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 Repugnant.
should you be asking
In other news, in other news, in other news,
The very word secrecy is repugnant
should you be asking
in other news,
in a free and open society.
That freedom ring in the
in other news,
In a free and open society.
should you be asking
Bilderberg, a new world order.
In a free and open society. In a free and open society.
We know there are conspiracies. There's a conspiracy to keep us all in the dark about weapons of mass destruction.
The very word secrecy is repugnant.
Bilderberg,
Repugnant.
Bilderberg,
Repugnant.
Bilderberg,
Repugnant.
That freedom ring in the
They can't survive without you.
The very word secrecy is repugnant. In a free and open society.
in other news,
We know there are conspiracies.
in other news,
should you be asking
Bilderberg,
in other news,
That freedom ring in the
Bilderberg,
The very word secrecy is repugnant.
in other news, LeBron James is moving to Florida to play for the Miami Heat, and that fact will not affect your life in any way.
should you be
Bilderberg,
asking
You know, the most important thing that you can do is to follow your passion